Since Shannon Sharpe's departure from Undisputed after the NBA Finals, the show has been off the air for over 3 weeks, which just sounds crazy. There have been a ton of rumors as to who's going to replace Shannon on the show, with the frontrunner being Shady McCoy, who already works for the network on Speak for Yourself. Then after the ESPN layoffs, you heard rumblings that many wanted to see Skip and Jalen and Rose together, which I honestly think would have been the best chemistry for the show. However, just recently, you had Skip also declare on his own podcast that Lil Wayne and Young Money was going to play a larger role on the show, which kind of threw a lot of people off.
Wayne will be involved more than ever in Undisputed going forward. So will Young Money.
I'm sure Wayne knows his stuff on sports as he's an avid fan, but we've seen him make a cameo on Undisputed before, and personally, I just don't think it'll work. But who really knows what Skip was referring to? Maybe Wayne was going to be more involved in the production side, or maybe this was some marketing ploy to keep some buzz around the show. And interestingly enough, Undisputed's own Twitter page made an announcement that the show was going to resume the program at the end of August, which means they're going to be off the air for almost 3 months, which sounds absurd. The show is struggling to find a suitable replacement for Shannon Sharpe, and this has to be a huge red flag to take such a long break like this, especially during the NBA playoffs and right before the NFL season kicks off. Think about all the crazy stuff going on in the NBA, just like how Spurs picked up the number 1 pick in the draft, or even the trade talks surrounding Dame. So for the fact that they've been off the air for this long speaks huge volumes. The show is currently in search for another black co-host, and I only say that because there's no way they're going to bring in another white dude. Have you seen the dynamics of these shows in the last 10 years? You need someone from the culture, especially when they're trying to emulate the barbershop atmosphere. Take a look at this clip from Camron and Mace's new show, It Is What It Is, that has been blowing up as of late. Cam explains why Skip in the show has had trouble finding a new co-host.
Got Shannon Sharpe, who just went crazy. He got the nickname Unked off the show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He went up there, he bought his Black and Miles, and he bought his weed. He bought his stocking cap, the goat mask, the jerseys. He turned it out for black people just who like to see the culture. And I think there's 2 things, maybe 3. What I say was this: Skip Bayless seen what Stephen A. did for the show, and he's like, if I could get
make it blacker.
Exactly. If I
he brought Black and Miles. You think he gonna let Lil Wayne bring a cup of lean up there?
Yeah, he might.
He might.
You know why? Because you know there's one thing, he never smoked the weed, he never took a shot of Hennessy. He'll just look at Shannon and be like, you're doing that this early? You're really gonna take a shot of Hennessy? Because in his brain, he's like, do more nigga shit. Do more nigga shit. Do more nigga shit. Yeah. Let's bring the niggas in. Let's bring the niggas in. That's what Skip Bayless does, and I think that he's seen his ratings skyrocket once he got Stephen A. on the show. Then he seen how much people love Shannon Sharpe once he got Shannon Sharpe on the show.
We're gonna go even blacker this time.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring the hood in.
Yeah.
It might be a bandana on it.
Yeah. Young Money.
Yo, Skip walk out with a red bandana.
Yeah, Skip would definitely do it for the coach. Skip be like, yo. Yo, word the mother, this nigga, the nigga Skip.
Skip gotta chill.
And Skip seen that like I said, it's rated skyrocket. A lot of people don't know, and I don't know how long you've been watching First Take Stat, but a lot of people don't know is that First Take was on before Stephen A. Smith. Nobody gave a fuck. It was on the afternoon sometime.
Yeah.
Only time I started watching First Take when Jalen Rose cursed Skip Bayless out. That's when I started working.
That's when it got real.
Yeah, that's when I was like, yo, when he started calling them water gun, pistol Pete and all that, that's when I was like, fuck going on this show? And that's what made me start watching First Take, because Stephen A. actually came on that show. It was a two-day situation with that. Jalen Rose heated him up the first day. They came back to debate again, and Stephen A. got on that show. And from that show, he brought Stephen A. in. And that's when he started fucking with black people.
So Cam pointed out that Skip and debate shows like these need someone from the culture for it to work. And he ain't wrong. Just look at all the other programs on the air. I think Cam is right that Skip is looking for someone else who can fill in that void that Shannon Sharpe left behind. Someone who's a little bit of a character, and I just don't see that with LaShawn McCoy. Hence, I think that's why Undisputed has been delayed for another couple months. Shady just doesn't have that type of character, and if you try to fake it, it just comes off all wrong. I think that may be why he's trying to experiment with Wayne, but maybe his on-screen presence isn't really working either, and thus causing further delays. There is no doubt in my mind that Skip has seen the landscape in the media change with the likes of former athletes and guys like Cam and Mace blowing up themselves. He probably sees this as a sign that he needs to get someone else with a little more character to match Shannon. Actually, one of the perfect replacements would have been Michael Irvin, who Skip has a relationship with, but ever since that weird hotel incident, he's been taken off the air. Not sure why though, when there's even video evidence of him acting pretty normal in the hotel lobby with the alleged victim. Anyways, I'm curious what y'all think of this. What do you think of Wayne being on the show? Is he a fit? Or let me know, who do you think would be the right co-host for Skip?